Alright guys, it's Hink here. So today I want to talk about hyaluronic acid fillers because honestly it's one of those things I go back and forth on, but there's been some new data published that actually has kind of swung me in one direction as far as whether I think they're really good, really bad, or somewhere in between. So in this video we're going to break down the new data, what it shows, what are the results, especially when it comes to flaccid and erect girth, who are the patients that are the best suited for this type of treatment, how does doing different enlargement techniques potentially affect fillers, the risks, the cost, the logistics. I mean, we're going to break it all down in the most succinct way possible. Before we get into it, guys, I would consider it a personal favor if you hit the like button. If you like my content, please consider subscribing and hype the video if you don't mind. But let's get into it. So the main reason I wanted to do this video is this paper right here, the efficacy of injection penile girth enhancement as an option for small penis syndrome management. So in other words, what they're saying is a study of men who got penile fillers with hyaluronic acid with normal penises. Now what they did is they looked at almost 150 guys between 2019 to 2021, and they looked at the difference in the size before and after, but more importantly, the impact that had as far as sexual satisfaction and overall satisfaction with their size. Now, a key thing to keep in mind, guys, with a lot of these papers looking at hyaluronic acid, they are looking at flaccid size. Now, we are going to go through the data for both flaccid and girth enlargement, but in this trial, they specifically just looked at flaccid. But guys, this is what the actual injection looks like. It's basically a clear gel, for lack of a better word. So guys, in this study in particular, what they did was they injected 10 mLs into the shaft, basically 5 on either side, and then 4 milliliters in the glands. And then after that was delivered, you have to wear this special bandage for 72 hours, which we're going to talk about that later. Now guys, I do want to take a break here just to point out that I have another video that I've already made about injecting hyaluronic acid into the glands and actually the impact that can have on reducing premature ejaculation. But there's also this paper here, which showed in actually a randomized trial format that it's better than one of the most common premature ejaculation medications when it comes to reducing premature ejaculation. So if you're interested in, you want me to make that video, please leave that comment below and it'll let me know that I need to make that video, and I will. Now guys, I'm going to start putting up the data here. I'll put up this chart here, okay? But you can see that the biggest difference is that girth increased by about 1.7 centimeters, or about almost 18%, and the glands increased by about 1.5 centimeters in girth. So the head of the penis by about 1.5 centimeters, which is about a 15% increase in girth. Once again, this was flaccid measurements only. Now, the other important thing to keep in mind is when we look at the different domains, including sexual relationship, confidence, self-esteem, and the overall relationship, all of these factors, at least in these guys with small penis syndrome, had significant improvements in all of those outcomes just from the fillers alone. Now you can see the difference here demonstrated. Now some of these are pretty remarkable. Others, the difference in the graph is not that remarkable, but the bottom line is increasing size, at least in these men, and this is just even looking at flaccid size, dramatically improved their overall sexual well-being. Now guys, in this study in particular, and in general, when looking at the complication rates, and so they saw about 9% nodules or migration. Now, here's actually a paper, it's a published case report of all the different series of basically nodule formation. Now, I don't know if you've seen these nodules, but even in the lips, they can look remarkably off-putting, okay? I mean, look at these lips. Like, can you imagine if that was your D and you were in the midst of an encounter and went to pull it out and it looked like you had leprosy on your D or something? You guys need to be you need to keep that in mind if you're considering the different cosmetic outcomes. Now, you can break it up with something called hyaluronidase, which is, an enzyme that breaks it down and you can get rid of it, but still. Other common side effects, almost a 2% rate of pain or discomfort for about 2 weeks. And you can see the differences in this video here of basically the stages of swelling depending on the days. Now guys, when it comes to other side effects, we're talking about like bruising, discoloration, increased sensitivity. But then there's also some serious complications. Now, this is rare, and like I said, in this study we just looked at, they didn't see any of that. But you can actually have things like tissue necrosis or tissue death. You can accidentally inject it into an artery or vein, causing major issues. You can have a nerve injury if it's not put into basically the right fascia layer. You can have these things called granulomas, which is basically an inflammatory reaction in that area, causing a nodule. And then of course you can just have a good old-fashioned allergic reaction. When it comes to actual erect gains, the data is not the best for this. However, there is some data, like this paper here. Now, first of all, when it comes to length, most papers are going to say there's no difference in length, except for flaccid length. And flaccid length is just because it's heavier, it hangs a little bit lower, okay? But it's not like a marked flaccid increase where it like doubles in size, but it is significant. Now, similarly with erect length, you're not going to notice pretty much anything at all. Sometimes if you get it injected into the glands and your glands goes from being this big to this big, that can be a noticeable amount, but we're talking on the order of like millimeters of glands increase for the most part. Now, when it comes to girth, especially flaccid girth, you're looking at somewhere between 0.8 centimeters to 2.5 centimeters. Which is anywhere from about 1/3 of an inch all the way up to a full inch in girth. In flaccid girth, guys, that can be a game changer for flaccid girth. Now, when it comes to erect girth, that's when it's a little bit different. So as your penis gets more and more erect, it stretches out and basically puts more and more pressure on the filler, and so it becomes like less and less apparent. So you could have an inch of girth in the flaccid state, but it's going to be dramatically less than that in the erect state. Now, how much less than that? So it's usually about half of whatever your flaccid girth is what you get. So at most, if you got an inch in flaccid girth, you might get 1/2 inch in actual erect girth, which once again, guys, that can be a huge difference. So look at some numbers, okay? Just because I feel like people don't understand the difference that just 1/2 inch in girth can make, okay? So let's just say we have our average American length here, and let's just say 5.5, which is actually on the upper end of average. But let's say he's 5.5, and then he is 4.7, so smack dab average when it comes to actual girth, maybe just slightly above that in the global average. And so he's looking at about a girth of in the 58th percentile and about the 75th percentile when it comes to actual overall penile volume. If you get a 1/2 inch of erect girth, that'll take you from 4.7 to 5.2, and you jump from the 58th percentile to the 88th percentile, guys. And then when it goes to penile volume, you go from the 75th percentile all the way up to the 92nd percentile. And so when I talk about these like minor changes, oh, only a 1/2 inch in girth, derpa-der. That's a life-changing, I mean, that's a tremendous amount of girth as far as how many levels up a standard deviation that takes you as far as penile size and penile volume. So a common question that I get asked is, how long does it last? Well, it depends. There's different filler formulas that they are starting to make longer and longer active hyaluronic acid-based fillers. We're not talking about permanent fillers here like PMMA, guys. That's a whole different video for a whole different reason. But typically speaking, within about 18 to 24 months, you're back to 100% your pre-size. Typically for the first 1 to 6 months, that's when it's kind of the peak size, and you can even get some additional size from actual swelling from the injection. Around 6 to 12 months, you get some gradual reabsorption, but you still have the majority of your gains there, And most guys schedule a touch-up in about 12 to 18 months. So what about the cost? Well, in the United States, the cost is somewhere between $600 to $1,000 per ml, basically. And so if you have kind of a standard procedure done, you're looking somewhere between $6,000 to $12,000. If you have more of a high volume procedure, then you're looking at more like $11,000 to $18,000, okay? You might say, Hink, well, I'm going to Turkey. Well, guys, in Turkey, I mean, they are doing a lot of these cosmetic procedures for significantly cheaper. What we're looking at is typically basic volume is somewhere around $1,500 to $2,500 total compared to $12,000 total. And then a high volume session, you're looking at somewhere between $3,000 to $4,500 compared to $18,000. So it's a dramatic reduction. So all things considered, if you went to Turkey with the flight and everything, it's going to cost you significantly less. Now, personally, I don't think there's anything better than US healthcare. And I'm sure that these clinics know what they're doing, and that's basically all they do in and out. But imagine if you get this and then you have a complication and you're back in the United States. Now, obviously you can go seek care here, but it just makes me nervous. It's just something personally I would never do. I'm not going to shame you if that's the way you want to roll. Now, typically this does require basically 2 to 3 visits to actually get all of the filler injected. And oftentimes these visits can be months apart. And so there are some logistical challenges with just saying, well, F it, I'm going to Turkey. Now, when it's actually done in as well, this is what kind of weirds me out, but like you have to have the injection done, and then the doctor has to sit there and like physically mold it and hold it into place into like the distribution. Whatever, I'm not judging or anything, that's just kind of weird to me. And then once again, you do have to wear a special wrap for usually somewhere around 24 to 72 hours afterwards to make sure that it doesn't migrate. So guys, my biggest issue with this is a temporary procedure. So if you haven't seen my video on like pumping addiction, like if you've ever used a pump to gain extra size and then use that to have a satisfying encounter, you have this mental loop where you think that, so let's say you pump up, you have a great encounter, you think that that encounter is just because you pumped up, or maybe it was because you pumped up and you had additional girth. And then so every time you have another encounter with that girl, for example, you're going to be wanting that pumped up size. And so I do feel like this is kind of an extreme version of that. If you get fillers and you're out there slanging your meat or whatever, your partner's going to be used to you at that size. And so what's going to happen in a year when that size starts going away? Well, you're going to have to get it pumped back up with more fillers. And then, so like, how long is that cycle going to last? I mean, it's one thing to say, like, here in this one study of 150 guys, we had no real complications. It's another thing to have hyaluronic acid injections done basically every year for the rest of your life, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s, for example. And so I don't like that potential psychological component where it's like, oh yeah, I got a big old pee-pee, and then it goes away and you're like, oh well shit, what now? It is possible to get significantly bigger with non-surgical techniques, okay? Most people already familiar with my channel know this. But if you don't believe me, go to primewood.shop and click on the Hink trial, where you can see my published research where 7 different guys show on average they gained over 1/2 inch in length and 1/4 inch in girth, with one guy, with photos that you can see for yourself, gained actually over 1 inch in length in 6 months, guys. And these results, for the most part, are permanent. Even if you stop everything, you're going to keep about 80% of it. So there are non-surgical options that you have that, in my opinion, work better and are permanent changes that occur over time, rather than this cycle of continued hyaluronic injections. Now, speaking of enlargement techniques, how do these play in with enlargement? So things like extending, pumping, clamping, manual stretches. Well, guys, they don't play well together, okay? If you get this injected and you are wearing an extender or something that puts pressure where the injection is, it can leave a permanent cosmetic deficit, okay? It can leave a potential, like a divot, for example, of where you had that compression on there. You actually have to be careful because you can experience migration. And so you can see some pictures of what happened when like your filler migrates, and you can only imagine what that would look like in the D if your doctor molded it to be a perfect size, and then you're putting this weird pressure on it, and then all of a sudden you have a lumpy, bumpy D. And that's going to take, what, 18 months to resolve? So just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing that I haven't heard anybody talk about is the fact that, honestly, just increased blood flow in general brings more natural hyaluronidase to your system, and you can actually have a quicker breakdown of the actual filler just from increased blood flow. So, for example, if you're using a pump, or heck, even if you have these fillers done and you're using a lot of Cialis, and you're getting an increased amount of blood flow, an increased amount of erections, or even nocturnal erections, that's going to actually cause the duration of the filler to be less. The other thing is, guys, shear stress, okay? Putting stress on the actual molecules by stretching it, pumping it, whatever it may be, it actually breaks down what we call the cross-linked bonds of the actual hyaluronic acid, and it will cause it to break down sooner as well. And you can have a significant breakdown. So even if you were to do it, you weren't concerned about the cosmetic outcomes, it would literally cause the filler to not last as long. So who do I think are the best candidates for this? Well, I think primarily it's guys that don't have dysmorphia disorder, meaning that an increase in their size would actually be a meaningful difference, not just like, well, an increase in size, they're still going to just feel like they're small. The other thing is guys that are mainly concerned about their flaccid size. So shouts out to my whole Acorn gang, link is in the description. But all my guys with small peepees, especially small flaccid peepees, would see the biggest benefit as far as flaccid length and girth, because the erect changes are not nearly as pronounced as the flaccid changes. But this would also be for guys that maybe don't want to do the full step of surgery, but don't have the time and patience and dedication that it takes to do enlargement activities for 6 months to actually get similar gains. So what are my closing thoughts? Well, guys, I actually think that this is a pretty reasonable option, all things considered. There's plenty of published data shows that satisfaction rates are very high and complication rates in general are very low. My biggest problem with that is it's temporary, especially if you're doing any kind of modification to it, any kind of PE. You can really screw up your cosmetic outcome. And I also just worry about what is that going to do to you psychologically if one day you have a big PP and then a year later all of that dissolves and you're back down to your starting size. You're going to feel smaller than you ever were. I just have some very serious psychological concerns with that. So ultimately, would I recommend? I mean, it depends. If in a perfect world, in my opinion, what you would do is max out all of your PE gains, meaning enlargement gains naturally, with using either an extender, a hanger, or even manual stretches, and then maximizing your girth gains with something like pumping primarily, or if you must, clamping, and see what you can get at least for about a year, okay? And see if those size increases are enough for you. And then especially from a length component, once you get to the length you want and you want to try hyaluronic acid fillers to get some extra girth, you know, by all means do so. You know, talk to your doctor. This is not medical advice, but it seems much more reasonable. For me personally, would I do it? No. Not a chance, but I'm also at a place where I'm very content with my size. So guys, if you are interested in growing with these natural techniques that I talked about, obviously watch the other videos on my channel so you can learn how to do it. But go to primewood.shop where you can find things like pumps, extenders, all-day stretchers, silicone bases for your pump, everything that you need. It's high quality and it's probably cheaper than you're going to be able to find anywhere else. And of course, if you want a step-by-step guide based on real science with real results, as you see on the Hink trial, please consider checking out my enlargement course. The code HINK10 will get you 10% off. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Remember, there's nothing wrong with self-improvement, but you are enough just as you are. All right, guys. Peace and love.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health, yeah. Got you thinking about your wealth.